Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more. Now, Felix and I are, um, undertaking another series of talks. So, here we are, chats about things. We've both been very deep in various projects and the like, and we've lifted our heads at long last and are taking
Mm,
a good look around us.
we are. And just on the off chance that you guys do want questions, you do have things you want us to look at, please drop them in the comments below because we'd love to have some topics that we can kind of go through that would really be suited to you guys. So yeah, that just feels kind of like a
Yeah.
good way to start the season off.
Absolutely, a very, very good point, actually, because there's an awful lot going on, and as a consequence of that, we've got one or two topics picked out. We're going to chat about after this one, but yeah, really, what's bothering you, or what you're seeing, or maybe feeling, and maybe want more explanation of. If we can help, we will, because at this particular point, it's about all of us clubbing together and helping each other and
Mm.
moving this whole drama that we're tied up in forwards. We've been going around in loops for a very, very long time now, and the whole thing
Mm.
needs upgrading and shifting forwards. And there's so we're going to talk about current energies, where we feel the current energies are, because there's been um, even in the last few weeks, there's been another shift. This has been such an intense year. There's been movement upon movement upon movement upon movement, and all of it at the higher levels, really, really positive. What it's felt like at the lower levels, at the very 3D levels, is it's felt like ever increasing levels of chaos, ever increasing levels of crackdown, and trying to bridge between these two fields. I mean, it's a mastery in itself, to be frank with you, isn't it? I mean, it's
Yeah.
you feel utterly schizophrenic some days, utterly, really pulled down and weighting, and kind of like, are we ever going to? Is any of this ever going to make sense some days?
Mm.
And I speak for myself. Days when I do big meditations, or I spend a lot of time in the higher fields. My God, I mean, the level of energy is so exquisite. It's so amazing.
Mm.
The ability to reach ever further into the fields, into the information fields, to extract information. They're just getting, looser. It's like somebody's turning on the lights, further and further and further back in the library, as it were, and I can see more and more of it,
Mm.
and more of it's accessible to me. So, there's a level at which all of this is so uplifting, but also a level at which it is very, very difficult. So it's worth talking about, I think a little bit about what that schizophrenia is all about.
Yeah, yeah, really great topic. So to come into an understanding about this, we're in a field that is created upon trauma. It was based upon trauma, and this is kind of a it's a an evolutionary developmental ground for us to kind of shift our belief systems and work things out and override things. Now, the thing with this field and with the fields above as well, to some degree, is that there is polarity in these fields, and this means that we can go from one extreme to another. And if we are kind of working things out down here, it's going to have a cause and effect response to what's going on up there. So if we're working things out, but also if we're driving chaos and madness. So when I say we're in a field of polarity, I mean the light that's doing light things may not catch a glimpse physically of the dark doing dark things because the vibration is so polar opposite that if it were to come together, it would probably
Mm.
implode.
Yeah,
Right.
it's very
So
different, isn't it?
yeah, so they stay completely at other sides of the circle. So when you're dismantling things on one end, that's going to have a shift reaction towards the things on the other side. Now, the same way that we're looking at that is where if we're down at the bottom, we're going to have a cause and effect response at the top. So where we're making moves down here, that's going to have an effect up here, but where they're making moves up there, that's going to trickle down and affect us down here. So that experience, we're working slowly to synthesize the polarities on all levels to gradually bring it all back into one central sphere in the middle. And in order to get to that space, we have to develop something called the 0 point awareness. And through that, we're able to understand and process and integrate everything that's going on through every other one of these layers of spheres that we're looking at, all of this information that we're looking at. And sometimes that information can breach your personal sphere and become entrenched in your body. And that's when we start to feel like a heap of shit. Technical term, tell you not,
Very
right?
technical.
Right. So when we're pulling all of this information through to review, if we lose conscious focus of that, this then basically creates an opening for this stuff to start entrenching in. And then we start living the experience of the emotion, living the experience of being caught up within dramas, traumas, etc., all of these things. And that's when the negative ego gets triggered. And the past week, there have been some massive, like, revolutionary steps to synthesize the negative ego, which is basically in alignment with the repair of the herogamic centers, the sacred marriage center points, which is pulling together the oppositional forces that have called to separate the idea of sacred marriage. Now, what is sacred marriage? It is the unification of polarity into one form. So a masculine and a feminine comes together and then they unify with one, becoming one, like that wonderful Spice Girls song, When Two Become One.
Yeah, but
Um,
it births something more, doesn't it? It becomes
it
more
does.
than the sum of its parts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, and I'll let you talk about that, or I'll give you the stage to talk about that momentarily. So when we're kind of bringing all of this stuff up, this is triggering all of the deep shadow within that's holding all of the separation to that sacred marriage within us. And this, like squeezing a giant pimple, you are getting all of the goop coming out of the coming out of the zip right up to the surface to release all of that toxin that's been harboring and sat within there, creating loads of damage, loads of chaos, and basically, yeah, postulating within within your structure and creating a big old decay. So as that's all coming up to the surface, we're giving a chance and an opportunity within Scorpio season in a grand water trine, I believe, as well, to
Yeah, there's a
process
lot going on.
heavy amounts of emotional energy, emotional imprints, to purify, cleanse it all out, and bring it back into alignment with the perfect, aligned, illuminated grand water trine. So there are astrological alignments that are also driving this up to the surface. Scorpio is never fun in general. So when we kind of go into this on the tropical sense and even more so in the solar sense, it becomes really, really intense. That's probably why it's only for a week in the solar, to give us all a break. So all of that's coming up to the surface to be able to be processed in order for us to claim back our unified consciousness and really synthesize that central 0 point unified consciousness.
Mm. There is a saying, the challenge that becomes the gift. And this is what we're looking at. You talk about Scorpio and Scorpio never being much fun. Well, Scorpio is at its lowest expression levels is the Scorpion, and just I don't know how many of you have actually physically seen a scorpion. I used to live where there were scorpions, so
They look scary.
they look scary and they are nasty. And yes, they'll sting you as soon as look at you, sort of thing.
Mm.
But the highest within astrology, the higher iteration within Scorpio is the eagle, and the eagle, or even not just the ego, but the eagle, but it's even higher. It's even higher expression, the phoenix. So there is a gift within this. What I'm basically saying is there is a gift within this.
Mm.
And potentially, if we can do the work, as I mean, Felix so graphically said, it's like squeezing a nasty spot. If we can really do the work within this, we can find that higher iteration of the eagle, or even in its last iteration, Scorpio in its last degrees, possibly even, the Phoenix, which is transformational. And we
Mm,
are in times that will support this. The energies of the moment will support this. So, yeah, it's crummy. Yeah, it feels heavy. Yes, it's difficult. God, you're tired. I mean, I don't know about you, but I could sleep for England. Um,
mm,
but just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Just keep doing the work, and it's there on the horizon. Literally,
mm,
it's there on the horizon for us. This has been an incredible year. It will continue to be an incredible year. We'll move into, I think, calmer waters. I have a sense of calmer waters next year. Um, Still a lot of work to do, huge amounts, but maybe not quite as intense as this year. We have been turned inside out this year, haven't we?
oh yeah.
Absolutely turned inside out. But this is partly because, we've got this bifurcation coming up. I think we've talked about this before, this
Uh-huh.
bifurcation of the timelines, and this
Mm,
movement to part of two different, completely different frequency fields.
mm,
And, you know, the work has to be done to move into and to stay with the higher frequency field, and to give that the necessary oomph it needs to really do a successful separation, as it were.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, people like Felix, myself, other people are busy processing huge amounts of collective trauma, huge amounts of collective pain, to be
Mm,
able to drop it, so we don't take it with us. It can't be
mm-hmm.
taken with us. And at the same time, we're moving, or we have moved in this year, into the soul matrix levels of consciousness, which is about doing the heart work, which we're going to talk a bit more about
Yeah.
next, hopefully. Um, and so that in itself brings its own level of traumas and remembrances, and
Mm,
sitting on the pity pot and
yeah.
possibly having a good wail occasionally, because there's a lot of hurt tied up, a lot of hurt tied up within us.
Mm,
And it's, it's clearing. We're in a massive, massive level of clearing. Now, when you look around at the 3D world, the politics of what's going on and everything like that, I mean, you are seeing such rubbish. You are seeing the most appalling decisions being made. You're seeing the light being shone into very, very dark places. And it looks very despairing. I know people who are very, very depressed and in a very, very bad place, and very, very anxious when they only tune in at the 3D level. And the trick now is to really try and not tune in at the 3D level, to put your focus elsewhere, to put it into the higher frequency realms, to put it into the things that make you feel good about yourself, that make you feel good about the world. Focus on what makes you laugh, what you love, what lifts your energy and opens up your heart. And the more you can put your focus into that, the more the drama, and it's a stage drama. I mean, it's just a rubbishy, rubbishy film that's being played out. The more you'll find yourself detaching from it, and hopefully being able to take the observer view of it, rather than, in the down and dirty and feeling like you're being beaten up by it. Because
mm,
we need to leave that behind. And if we focus on that, that's what we get. Now, the incoming energies, and Felix and I have had various chats about this. The incoming energies are beginning to say to us, what is it you want next? What do you want the new earth to
mm,
look like? What are the structures of Christic governance, of a society which is governed by these really high levels of conscious, the Christos levels of consciousness? What do the structures of governance, not government, governance, look like within that? And I can assure you, they are very, very different to what we've got here. And the very fact that these things are beginning to knock at our consciousness at the door, saying, think about me, start to let
Mhm,
me in,
mhm,
start to play with these energies,
mm,
means that we are moving into a space, or sufficient of us are moving into a space where we can begin to invite those in. And the more
mm,
people who keep concentrating and keep investing in this, the longer it will take to get to that.
mm. Absolutely. That's perfect. Yeah. Nice one. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure to work with you all again today and record with you. So yeah, we'll see you
Yeah,
again soon. Take
thank
care.
you. Bye.
Bye.